You feel it, don't you? That heavy, aching presence that never truly leaves. You might not show it to the world, but late at night, when you're alone with your thoughts, it creeps in. Guilt. It's like a ghost lurking in the corridors of your mind. You try to sleep, but the moment you close your eyes, there it is. The memory of what you did, playing on an endless loop. You sit up in bed at 3 a.m., sheets damp with sweat, and run a trembling hand through your hair. Your heart hammers in your chest. In the corner of the room, in the darkness, you almost see a figure, a silhouette of the person you hurt. You blink, and it's gone. But the feeling remains, cold and permanent. Your jaw tightens, and your fingers absently trace the faint scar under your chin, a small, angular mark from another time. It's healed on the outside, but inside, you're bleeding regret. No guilt is ever truly forgotten as long as your conscience keeps it alive. And right now, your conscience remembers everything. But listen carefully. You are not alone in this. Guilt is a burden many carry in silence. Look around you. Every person has done something they regret. Everyone has ghosts. The specifics differ, but that heavy feeling of remorse, it's part of being human. You feel guilty because you have a conscience, because you care. In a twisted way, that guilt is proof that you're not a monster. If you truly lacked empathy, you wouldn't feel anything at all. Guilt, in small doses, is actually meant to guide us. Think about it. Why do we even have the ability to feel such pain over our own actions? Because it's a warning sign, a moral compass. It's like an alarm bell ringing in your soul saying, "You've strayed off course, fix it." Our ancestors needed guilt to live together, to trust each other. Guilt made sure we corrected wrongs, kept peace in the tribe. It's the reason you say, "I'm sorry" when you hurt someone, because you feel it. In that sense, guilt is not your enemy. It's evidence that you have a heart. But here's the problem. That heart of yours, the one that's capable of feeling so deeply, is drowning in guilt that won't let go. The alarm bell is broken, blaring non-stop long after the fire's been put out. What was meant to be a momentary signal has become a constant background noise in your life. Guilt has turned into shame, and there's a difference. Guilt says, "I did something bad." Shame says, "I am bad." Maybe at first you felt guilt for what you did. But over time, it's corroded into the belief that you're a terrible person. That's what shame does. It takes one event, one action, and infects your entire identity with it. Now, it's not just that you made a mistake, it's that you are a mistake, right? At least that's the ugly lie shame whispers to you in the dark. And oh, how that lie has taken root. It's why you haven't forgiven yourself. It's why you replay that moment hundreds, thousands of times, as if punishing yourself on an endless loop somehow makes it better. It hasn't made anything better, has it? All it's done is make you smaller. You've been slowly shrinking under the weight of this thing. Maybe you've noticed. Your energy is gone. You don't laugh like you used to. You move through life like a ghost yourself. Pale, hesitant, afraid to truly engage or feel. Because a part of you is always chained to that past. Guilt can be paralyzing. It's like mental quicksand. The more you struggle against it internally, the deeper you sink into self-loathing. And so you start to believe you deserve this torment. You might not say it out loud, but deep down, you feel that this pain is your penance. How could you allow yourself joy or peace after what happened? So you deny yourself those things. Maybe you isolate yourself from people who care. You don't return calls. You cancel plans. You sit at home with the lights off, scrolling through old messages or pictures, punishing yourself with reminders of how you failed. Perhaps you've even sabotaged good opportunities that came your way. A new job, a new relationship. Something in you said, I'm not worthy of this. If they knew the truth, they wouldn't want me. I don't deserve a fresh start. So you let it slip away, unconsciously punishing yourself over and over. Do you see what's happening here? The original mistake, the one that caused your guilt, it happened once. But every day you keep punishing yourself for it. You are letting it hurt you again and again. It's like you're stuck in that moment, living it on repeat. The person you wronged might not even be in your life anymore, but you've internalized their voice, haven't you? Now you are both the prisoner and the judge, the condemned and the executioner, all in one. You've built a prison for yourself out of guilt and thrown away the key. Enough, enough. Let's call it like it is. You screwed up. You did. There's no sugarcoating, no excuse that can erase it. Maybe you betrayed someone's trust. Maybe you hurt someone in a way they didn't deserve. Maybe it was a lie, or an act of cowardice, or a moment of selfishness, or an accident that happened because of your negligence. It happened, and it feels unforgivable. Part of you might even be thinking, I'm a horrible person. I don't deserve forgiveness, but we are not here to further condemn you. This isn't about telling you how awful you are. You're already doing that to yourself, aren't you? No, this is about understanding this guilt that haunts you. Because only by understanding it can you begin to free yourself from it. We need to shed light on that ghost in your mind. Because here's something crucial. That ghost, that tormenting guilt, is not there to destroy you. It's there to deliver a message. It's saying, you're better than that moment. Learn from it. The guilt is a messenger, but you've mistaken it for a permanent resident. You've let it move into your head and wallpaper your thoughts with reminders of your sin. So let's step back for a moment. Take a breath. Look at what your guilt is doing to you. It's kept you up countless nights. How many nights now? Do you even remember what a full, peaceful sleep feels like? It's isolated you from the people you love because you won't let them close. It sucked the color out of your world. Food tastes bland. The sun feels cold. Nothing is fun anymore, is it? Guilt is like living with a ghost that pokes you every time you almost forget it. It whispers in your ear at the worst times. When you're about to smile, it says, how dare you? Remember what you did. When you find a moment of peace, it taps you on the shoulder. No, you don't get to have that. It's a relentless bully, and you're just taking the punches as if you deserve them. Picture this. You're standing in front of the mirror one morning. The bathroom light is harsh, unforgiving. You lean on the sink and stare at yourself. Really look. The person looking back is a stranger. Those eyes are bloodshot and haunted by memories. Your face is leaner, older looking than you remember, angular in the cheekbones, as if guilt itself chiseled away the softness. You notice your shoulders slump, weighed down. You look at the scar under your chin, that small scar you got years ago, maybe in some dumb accident or fight. It healed long ago. You touch it, and it's just skin. No pain. If only the wound inside could scar over like that. But it's still open, isn't it? Still raw. As you meet your own gaze, shame washes over you. You have to look away, because you can hardly stand the person you see. And then maybe, you swear for a second, you catch a glimpse of them in the mirror too. The person you hurt, standing just behind you. You whip around, heart in your throat. Nobody's there. Of course no one's there. But it feels so real. You're losing trust in your own mind. all because of this guilt. It's driving you mad. This isn't just poetic language. Humans have been haunted by guilt literally and figuratively forever. Think of Shakespeare's Macbeth, haunted by the ghost of the friend he murdered, or his wife scrubbing imagined bloodstains from her hands. Guilt can do that. It conjures ghosts in our minds. You might not have blood on your hands, but tell me you haven't felt dirty with guilt. Tell me you haven't wished you could wash the stain of that mistake off your soul. You have, I know. And like Lady Macbeth, no matter how much you scrub, it's still there. Because the stain isn't on your skin. It's inside you. So where does that leave you? Are you doomed to be haunted forever? Is this your life sentence? A mental prison cell where every day you're visited by the ghost of what you did? It will be, if you let it. If you believe that you must suffer till the end of your days to atone, then yes, you will suffer till the end of your days. But consider this. What purpose does that serve? Does your endless self-torment help the person you hurt? Does it undo the damage? Or does it just add another victim to the tally you? Because that's what you are right now, a victim of your own guilt. The original wrong has spawned a second tragedy, a living tragedy, as you waste away under its weight. Continuing to torture yourself is not noble. It's not justice. It's needless pain. It's like you've been holding onto a burning ember this whole time, squeezing it in your hand because you think you deserve to burn. But all that's happening is you're getting burned. Your pain doesn't lessen anyone else's. It only multiplies suffering in the world. Now there's the pain of the person you hurt and the pain you inflict on yourself. Two hells instead of one. My friend, no amount of guilt has ever fixed the past. Not once in the history of humanity has someone felt so guilty that it sent them back in time to change what happened. All the guilt in the world won't rewrite a single moment. If you broke something, feeling guilty won't fix it. If you hurt someone, feeling guilty won't heal them. It's like sitting in a rocking chair, thinking you're doing work because you're moving, but you're going nowhere. Guilt without action is paralysis, and that's where you are, paralyzed. So what do? We face this together right now. We're going to take a hard look at this ghost and figure out how to put it to rest. It starts with a decision. The decision that you have suffered enough. Yes, enough. You've paid the internal price over and over. Ask yourself, honestly, how much longer do you need to suffer for this? Another year? 5 years? The rest of your life? Will there ever be a point where you say, okay, I've punished myself adequately? Probably not, if you keep going like this. There's no natural end to the cycle of guilt unless you end it. It's time to consider something radical. Forgiveness. I'm not talking about the person you hurt forgiving you. That may or may not come, and it's out of your control. I'm talking about you forgiving you. I can almost feel your recoil when I say that. Forgive yourself? After what you did? You might think, I don't deserve that. But hear me out. Forgiving yourself is not saying it's okay that it happened. It's not letting yourself off the hook as if it never mattered. No. Forgiving yourself means saying, it happened. It was wrong. I acknowledge that fully. But I refuse to let this mistake define the rest of my life. I release myself from the perpetual punishment so I can focus on making things right. This is hard. Maybe the hardest thing you'll ever do. In fact, at first, it will feel wrong to even contemplate self-forgiveness. You've gotten so used to the whip of guilt on your back that freedom seems undeserved. But every great spiritual and philosophical teaching agrees on one thing: mercy. At some point, Mercy has to enter the equation, or there is only endless suffering. Think of what different wisdom traditions say. In Buddhism, there's the idea of compassion, even for oneself. A Buddhist might gently remind you that clinging to guilt is like grasping that hot coal we mentioned. The sooner you let it go, the sooner your hand can heal. The Buddha taught that all suffering comes from attachment, and you, my friend, have become attached to your guilt, like it's some twisted treasure you must hold on to. Let it go. Not for your own indulgence, but because only with an open hand can you catch the next moment and make it better than the last. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, they would shake their heads at how you're living in yesterday. They believed in focusing on what you can control and making peace with what you cannot. You cannot control the past. It's done, set in stone. No amount of remorse will change the outcome of what's already occurred. What you can control is what you do now, in this very moment and in the future. A Stoic would tell you, do right now what the wrong of yesterday demands. If you hurt someone, do what you can to help them, or, if that's not possible, help someone else in need. If you broke trust, live in a way that rebuilds trust through consistent honesty. Action, not brooding, is what heals a guilty conscience. Seneca once said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." This is the end of who you were in that moment. Let it be the beginning of who you will become after it. And then there's modern psychology, often echoing what these ancient teachings say. A famous psychologist, Carl Jung, talked about our shadow, the dark parts of ourselves we refuse to face. Your guilt is actually proof that you have a shadow, a part of you capable of doing wrong. Guess what? Everyone has a shadow. We are all part light, part dark. Jung said that what we deny in ourselves comes back to haunt us. Quite literally in your case, with those nightmares and visions. The only way to conquer the darkness is to confront it. Acknowledge that the you who made that mistake is part of you. But it's not all of you. You are not the same person as you were in that moment, not if you choose not to be. Yes, you have a darker side. You've seen it. You've lived it. But you don't have to live in it forever. By facing your shadow, by saying, "Yes, I did that and I accept that this capacity for harm is within me," you take away some of its power. It's no longer an unspoken horror lurking behind you. It's a known part of you that you can now work with, learn from, and transform. Accept that you are a flawed human being. That's not an indictment. It's a universal truth. Acceptance is the first step toward growth. You can't grow if you're busy denying or hating the soil you're rooted in. Right now, the soil of your life has some blood and tears in it. But from that, you can still grow something new. Accept that what's done is done, and that you are not permanently chained to that moment unless you choose to be. Now, I'm not suggesting a magic switch. You can't just say, "I forgive myself," and poof, all better. It will take time and effort. It might require you to do some very uncomfortable things. Are you willing to do what it takes to truly heal? Because if you are, here's what it might look like. Maybe you reach out to the person you hurt, if it's safe and appropriate to do so. You write them a heartfelt apology, not to get anything back, but to express that you understand the pain you caused with no excuses. You say what you should have said back then. You own up fully, and if they respond with anger, or if they don't respond at all, you accept that. Remember, you cannot control their forgiveness. This is not about manipulating someone into absolving you. It's about doing the right thing because it's right. If direct contact isn't possible or wise, maybe that person is no longer here, or maybe reaching out would hurt them more, you can still find a way to express your remorse and make amends symbolically. Write that letter anyway, and then burn it as a way of releasing it to the universe. Visit their grave or a place that was meaningful, and speak the words you need to say aloud into the air. Volunteer for a cause related to your mistake. For instance, if you hurt someone through drunk driving, spend time helping others who suffered from similar incidents. If you betrayed someone's trust, make it a mission to be dependable and kind to those around you now. These are ways you act on your guilt, channeling it into something positive instead of just letting it fester. And as you do any of this, as you take responsibility and try to make amends, pay attention to what happens inside you. It will be painful, yes. You might cry harder than you've ever cried when you finally say, "I'm sorry," and mean it with every cell of your being. You might feel a wave of grief for the relationship that was lost or the damage done. Let yourself feel that. That is the honest pain, the cleansing pain that washes away the toxic, stagnant guilt. It's the difference between a sharp, healing pain and the dull, endless ache you've been living with. One is the pain of a wound finally being cleaned. The other is the pain of a wound rotting day by day. Choose the sharp, clean pain of healing over the chronic infection of guilt. And then, after the apologies have been spoken or written, after you've done what you reasonably can to repair the damage, what then? This is the moment of truth. This is where you have to let it go. This is where you look yourself in the mirror with tears in your eyes, and you say, "I forgive you." Not because you're letting yourself off the hook, but because you've been on the hook long enough. Because you finally understand that forgiving yourself is the only way forward. Because you finally believe that you are more than your worst mistake. Picture that moment. You sink to your knees from the exhaustion of it all, sobbing. Maybe for the first time in ages, really sobbing. And you feel something shift. The ghost that's been hovering over your shoulder begins to fade. You've acknowledged it. You've listened to its message. You've done what it asked to make amends. And now, you no longer need it to stick around. In your mind's eye, you see the person you wronged. Maybe not as the vengeful specter that's tormented you, but as a memory, gently receding. Perhaps, in this imagined dialogue, you hear them say, "I forgive you." Maybe that's your own voice in disguise, or maybe it's what you wish they would say. Either way, you must accept it. Let the forgiveness in. Even if it never comes from them, let it come from somewhere, from God, if you believe, or from the inherent mercy built into life, or from your own deepest self. Accept forgiveness. As you do, you'll notice the weight on your chest isn't as crushing. You'll take a breath and realize it's a bit deeper than before. You'll look around, and things might seem a little brighter, as if colors came back. It won't be a sudden miracle, but a gradual thaw. The frozen grip that guilt had on your heart will loosen. In the days that follow, you might catch yourself smiling at a small thing, and then feel surprised that you actually felt a flicker of happiness. That's the light coming back in. Little by little, you reclaim yourself. Where guilt once stood guard at the door of your life, saying, "No, you can't come out." Now you open that door and step out into the world again. Understand this. The memory will not vanish completely. This isn't about forgetting, and honestly, you shouldn't forget. That memory contains valuable lessons. But it will transform. It will become something you can live with, a part of your story rather than the end of your story. Think of it like that scar under your chin. It's always there, but it doesn't hurt anymore. It becomes a reminder, not of your shame, but of your growth. When you touch it, you remember not just the pain of how it got there, but the fact that you healed. The skin grew back stronger. In time, your heart does the same around the wound of guilt. It heals. The scar might remain, but it's a testament to your survival and change, not to your failure. And when that happens, when you finally feel that freedom, however small at first, you'll realize something profound. Your life isn't over. It sounds almost ridiculous to say, but when you've been living in guilt, a part of you truly feels like life stopped at that moment of your mistake. But here you are, still alive, heart still beating, possibilities still ahead of you. You have a future, and you have a choice in how that future goes. Do you remain forever defined by this one chapter? Or do you write a new chapter? Imagine a book where the hero makes a terrible mistake halfway through, and then the story just ends there with them miserable, never moving on. What a tragedy, right? We crave the redemption arc. We want to see the hero atone and find redemption. Why do you think that is? Because deep down, we all know that a person is more than a single bad act. We want to believe in forgiveness, in change, in the possibility that someone who falls can rise again. You are that someone. You fell. Now rise. Rising won't be instant. You'll have to rebuild trust maybe, rebuild relationships, or build new ones. You'll have to prove through your actions that you've changed. But guess what? That's an opportunity, because now you get to live consciously. The weight of guilt has actually shown you exactly what your values are. It hurts so much because you violated your own values. Going forward, you can honor those values every day. You can become someone who helps others more, who empathizes deeply because you know what pain is. You can transform this guilt into fuel for doing good. That's the silver lining. The person who truly learns from their guilt often becomes the kind of person who brings light to others. Who better to show compassion than someone who has desperately needed it? Who better to uphold honesty than someone who has seen the cost of dishonesty? Your wound can become your strength. Take a moment now. Really, right now as you hear this, check in with yourself. Is something stirring inside you? Do you feel even a tiny glimmer of hope or resolve, or just a change in the air? Maybe your throat is tight, or your chest feels warm, or tears are welling up. Don't fight it. That's important. That means this matters to you. It means you matter, and you're tired of living like this. Don't ignore that feeling. This is the fork in the road where you either go back to being haunted, or you finally turn to face the ghost. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this: your guilt has punished you enough. It has done its job of teaching you the lesson. Keeping it around longer only destroys you. And you do not deserve to be destroyed. What you did was a mistake, maybe a big one. But you are still here, capable of good, capable of love, capable of redemption. Please believe that. Even if you can't fully feel it yet, hold on to it as an idea. I am more than my mistakes. I am worthy of a second chance. Because you are. Now, it's time. Time for you to make a choice. You've listened to me talk about your guilt, and perhaps it's shaken something loose. Perhaps you feel a resolve forming, or at least a desperate yearning to be free of this. Use that. Don't let this moment pass and slip back into old habits of burying your feelings. Do something with what you're feeling right now. After this video ends, I want you to take action, even a small step. Write down what you feel or what you've learned. Write that apology letter or send that text asking if you can talk to the person you hurt. Or if that's not possible, write in a journal forgiving yourself. Tonight, when you lay down to sleep and that ghost comes to whisper, you answer it. I have heard you. I have done what I can. Now leave me be. Say it out loud if you need to. Break the pattern. And if all of this, everything I've been saying, has resonated with you, if it felt like I was talking directly to your soul, then consider subscribing to this channel. Not out of habit or because I asked, but because it means you're choosing to continue this journey of self-discovery and healing. This corner of YouTube isn't about mindless distractions or feel-good platitudes. It's about facing the raw, uncomfortable truths that most run away from. It's about confronting yourself so you can become the best version of you. If you're here, still listening, it means you're ready for that. So join me as we keep digging deep and shining lights into those dark places. We're in this together. Before you go, I have a challenge for you, a way to cement this turning point. In the comments below, declare your freedom. Write, "My guilt no longer defines me." Say it and mean it. Let that be your promise, both to yourself and to the world, that you're done letting the past control your future. Sometimes writing the words out is a powerful first step, a way to solidify your intent. So do it. If you're ready to let this go, even if you're still a little scared or unsure, especially if you're scared and unsure, write those words. My guilt no longer defines me. And now, I'm not going to end this like a typical video with a casual, "See you next time." No. This is where I step back and you step forward. The conversation doesn't end here. It actually begins in your own heart. Turn off the screen and take a moment in the silence. Can you hear it? That faint sound of your soul breathing a sigh of relief at the possibility of release. Hold on to that. In this silence, you have a choice to make. The ghost that has haunted you only has as much power as you give it. You can invite it to leave now. You can choose to stand up, open the door, and walk into the rest of your life without those chains. The real ending to this story isn't written on this page or spoken in this video. It's written by you in what you do next. So go on, face yourself. Embrace the forgiveness that's waiting for you. Set down that burden. Step out of that haunted room. Because your story isn't over, and your guilt no longer defines you. It's time to start living again.